Good evening, I am Hank Hankerman.
And I am Annalise Woods.
And this is UBC Evening News. In our headlines, chicken struck dead outside the main car park at Capefield, and campus cafeteria was on the scene in minutes. Be careful, folks. You may never be too sure where your food is coming from.
Thanks for that, Hank. In other news, prominent telecommunications services providers Digicel and Flow have websites that are still operating under post-colonial regimes. Here's Sienna Forrester and Indy Bush with the story.
Thank you, Annalise. Now, you might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with me? Well, it's important to be aware of the residual features of colonialism that are being perpetuated in our Caribbean societies by two of the most popular service providers in the region. Now, keep your eyes open. As you know, Digicel and Flow are direct competitors. But what we found after a long, hard look at their commercial services websites is that there is a lot of post-colonial influence in their means of representation, or the way that both companies advertise. Over to you, Sienna.
Thanks, Cindy. You're absolutely correct. But before we get into all of that, we're just going to give a general overview of the way these companies advertise their services and why these advertisements are so dangerous.
As you can see, one thing that's very noticeable is that both companies seem very occupied with coming over to their customers as friendly. So they use smiling, attractive people, like here, this lady here, and the first woman you saw smiling at her cell phone. And in some cases, they use famous people, like Bo and DJ Puffy, in their website ads. Both companies also enhance advertisements with the use of color. Digicel, for example, utilizes red, a color that symbolizes confidence, enthusiasm, and power, along with gray, which, according to our experts, is basically the company's way of showing that things are dead until you add red. As you can see here, with the strips of red contrasting against the gray, and also white, which of course is associated with coolness and simplicity.
Flow, on the other hand, utilizes blue, white, and hints of green, which are all supposed to have a calming effect on the body and mind, in hopes that Flow customers would be at ease with whatever choices they make after consulting the websites. Believe it or not, you can see influences of colonialism in these same advertisements. Take a look at Flow's official homepage website, for example, where they showcase a family of 4 light-skinned people, the same kind of representation being used on the Digicel's homepage. Even though both companies try to incorporate darker-skinned people into more of their ads. Just to show you what we mean, we're going to skim through some of the ads where lighter-skinned persons are used on the websites. For Flow, as you can see on the page, there is a light-skinned woman with blondish, brownish, curly mixed hair being used. And this is an ad that will be seen by all Flow customers at some point when they visit the page. And here, a light-skinned male is also being used. And again, some people running about on the beach, a light-skinned family. And again, this man can be considered light-skinned in some contexts. So basically, you see that an underlying imperial or colonial mindset is at work concerning the visual appeal in advertising from Flow. Color is something else to note. For Flow, we have the use of blue, especially the navy blue that is incorporated into some of the ads. This and the red color of Digicel, along with the white that both companies use, can be linked back to the Digicel to the British flag. This may be a stretch, but it can be considered colonialism.
Another way in which these companies perpetuate colonialism is through the standard English they use when advertising their products. This use of standard English can be interpreted as conforming to colonial rule, because in colonial times, standard English was the predominant language spoken, and persons who did not speak this language were looked down upon and seen as inferior. As you can see, both Digicel and Flow websites for Barbados, St. Vincent, and Jamaica conform to this version of English. However, a closer look at the language on the pages have revealed something interesting. Jamaica's Digicel website used both standard English as well as the country's dialect. For example, their use of the word "nuff," which can be seen as Jamaica rebelling against the constraints of colonialism and their attempt at trying to break free from their restrictions. By doing this, they are embracing their native culture and language, where they can feel a sense of identity. They also do this by not capitalizing their words. This rebellion is also partly seen in Digicel's utilization of predominantly dark-skinned persons for representation, as opposed to Flow's uses of light-skinned persons in their representation. For example, some of Digicel models are black families and Usain Bolt. We know that Usain Bolt is there to represent speed. However, Bolt and some of the other models have kinky hair. This inadvertently sends a message that it is pro-black and may therefore be a step in a direction away from colonialism.
Bolt, however, is a representation of fame and success, and hence he is more likely to draw attention and support to Digicel. Hence, Bolt is a success story in the system of capitalism, which is a feature of post-colonialism, as Britain was a capitalist society when they colonized the Caribbean. Although the website Digicel tries to stray away from the colonial bonds, we also notice that they are using a black and white edit, like here, on their models. This may be to hide whether or not there is a preference in terms of using light-skinned, racially indeterminable persons in their ads. Okay, so take a look at the lady with the blue lipstick here. Her laptop is experiencing technical difficulties, which is indicative of the fact that Flow users, hence the blue lipstick, are prone to having these issues. Therefore, this is a clear hit at how Flow is the slower and more problematic network. This method of competitiveness between privately owned companies is a feature of a post-colonial nation, as this is the vein of owned companies. This method of competitiveness between privately owned companies is a feature of a post-colonial nation, as this is a vein of capitalism. The woman's hair right, her hair is also curly but not quite kinky, offering her some sort of racial ambiguity. Additionally, Digicel's Twitter page in St. Vincent features primarily light-skinned persons like this lady here, with a look that might be considered to be exotic. This could also be due to the racial demographic of St. Vincent, where most persons appear to be of a mixture of African, Kalinago, and European descent. However, the pages of Digicel Jamaica and Digicel Barbados feature more dark-skinned persons with negroid features as the faces of Digicel, like here and here. But in contrast, in the ads for Flow, although most persons seem to be of African descent, there is a clear bias towards persons with straightened hair or weaves. Like here, and I guess not there. Okay. If persons in the ad are wearing their natural hair, it is either bleached, like we saw earlier, or they are light skinned and racially ambiguous. This bears the mark of colonialism, as there was a hierarchy formed based on skin color, where the persons of a lighter skin tone were seen as more desirable or appealing. All in all, we've concluded that even though these post-colonial influences can be seen on the Digicel and Flow websites, Digicel seems to create the better websites because of its eye-catching red, white, and gray contrast, with the red highlighting key terms for the customers, because of the use of more popular persons like Usain Bolt and DJ Puffy, as we saw earlier, like here, and because of its more diverse and more engaging advertisements, such as including social media and other applications in their bundle plans.